Hey guys, welcome to Trending Buzz channel focused on delivering the hottest daily news and viral stories from across the US. Fast, fresh, funny, and straight to the point. Tread carefully. That's not a line from a spy movie. It's the actual warning. Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi just issued to a Democrat over none other than Elon Musk. Yep, Elon. The man who built rockets, made Teslas cool, and apparently lives rent-free in more liberal heads than logic itself. So buckle up, because today's story is part courtroom drama, part tech thriller, and part political circus, with popcorn on the side. Let's roll. So here's the setup. Elon Musk has been on a mission to expose what he calls government censorship, collusion on Twitter. Sorry, I mean X. And it's rubbing a few powerful people the wrong way. And when I say rubbing, I mean like sandpaper on sunburn wrong. Enter Pam Bondi, former AG of Florida, and a current member of Musk's legal Avengers. Bondi just torched California Representative Dan Goldman, a Democrat who tried, and I mean really tried, to paint Musk as some evil tech overlord silencing free speech by exposing free speech suppression. Yep, make it make sense. Goldman accused Musk of pushing conspiracy theories and undermining democracy. You know, the usual greatest hits, TM. But Bondi didn't just push back. She slammed the brakes and threw the whole narrative into reverse. Quoting her exact words, "He better tread carefully." And no, she wasn't talking about slipping on a banana peel. Bondi was dead serious. And when a former top prosecutor warns you with that tone, it's probably not just a friendly suggestion. She pointed to real evidence that Musk's Twitter files, emails, messages, receipts, showed clear coordination between government officials and big tech to suppress certain stories. Most notably, the Hunter Biden laptop bombshell in the weeks before the 2020 election, which, by the way, was initially labeled Russian disinformation until it wasn't.
Starting with, on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down.
And now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. Yet she turns and says, oh, I'm not calling for violence. Well, she is an elected public official. And so she needs to tread very carefully, because nothing will happen to Elon Musk. And we're going to fight to protect all of the Tesla owners throughout this country, and it's this basic safety. Once again, domestic terrorism is going to come to a stop in our country.
All right, so here's one for the political birthday books. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett says that on March 29th, her one birthday wish is for Elon Musk to be taken down. Not a spa day, not brunch, just Elon, boom, out of the picture. And then she adds, I'm not calling for violence. Because let's take him out on my birthday totally sounds like a peaceful picnic. Now enters Pam Bondi, who hears that and basically says, pump the brakes. Her message? Tread carefully. Nothing's gonna happen to Elon. And yes, she went all in on protecting Tesla owners and stopping domestic terrorism. That's when things went from birthday wish to political action movie. And look, you can dislike Elon all you want. Maybe you're tired of the memes or the Mars talk. But when a public official starts making statements that sound like takedown threats, even with a disclaimer, it's not a good look. Main point? Words matter. Especially when you're wearing a congressional pin. You're not just tweeting into the void. People are listening, reacting, and yes, screen recording. So maybe next birthday, wish for something a little less aggressive, like student loan forgiveness or decent airport Wi-Fi. What do you think? Harmless heat of the moment. Comment or a line that crossed the line. Let me know, because this feels like politics, but with birthday candles and a plot twist. Let's talk about that for a second. You had dozens of former Intel officials signing letters that basically said, this is probably fake, but we don't really know. The media ran with it like it was the 10 Commandments. Twitter blocked links. Facebook throttled reach. The New York Post, the paper that broke the story, was locked out of its own account. And now, it's all true. Let that sink in. The tech companies and government insiders worked together to shut down a real story that could have changed voters' minds right before an election. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to say, that's shady. So when Pam Bondi says tread carefully, she's not saying it for fun. She's warning Goldman, and let's be honest, any politician trying to go after Musk right now, that there are receipts, evidence, and consequences. Now Dan Goldman, bless his heart, decided to clap back, saying that Musk is just trying to distract from legal troubles, especially around Tesla and SpaceX contracts. But here's the kicker. Musk isn't the one under investigation for colluding with federal agencies to manipulate speech.
When Pam Bondi, though, says, tread carefully, what does that even mean?
Yeah. All it means is that she's attempting to get me to say, oh, I'm going to be scared and I'm just not going to say anything, because they are willing to literally break the law. I mean, that's what we've seen them do. They are ignoring court orders. They are ignoring what our own laws are. When we look at things such as impoundment, things like that, this entire administration is rogue. And this isn't about partisanship. I keep trying to tell people that we are living in the time of good versus evil, right versus wrong. And right now, when we are looking at the black letter of the law and they are deciding, I'm just going to ignore it, then they are wrong. That is clear as day. And right now, they are going after anyone who decides that they will challenge them, whether it's the judges that are sitting on the benches, whether it is lawyers that have decided that they were going to represent their clients to the best of their ability, and most of them won against Trump and his administration. Basically, they are trying to get rid of all voices of dissent.
So Congresswoman Crockett hears Pam Bondi say, tread carefully, and her reaction is basically, oh please, I'm not scared. Y'all are just trying to silence me while breaking the law yourselves. And honestly, that's a very bold take. She says the administration is rogue, that it's not about politics anymore. It's good versus evil. Like, okay, who gave this speech? A congresswoman or Gandalf? You shall not pass. A court order you don't like. But look, she's making a serious point. She believes the government is ignoring laws, court orders, and trying to silence voices that challenge the system, whether that's judges, lawyers, or even Elon Musk with his Twitter files. And in her view, it's not left versus right. It's right versus wrong. Now, whether you agree or not, you gotta admit, that's a dramatic way to frame it. Like, forget bipartisan politics. We're talking cosmic battle energy now. If someone doesn't like your tweet, it's not just censorship, it's the end of the republic. Main point, Crockett is saying Pam Bondi's warning isn't legal, it's intimidation, and that anyone who dares to speak out, represent a case, or push back gets targeted. But here's the thing, in politics, when everyone says everyone else is breaking the law, you kind of start to wonder, okay, so who's actually reading the law? Like, do we need to send everyone a copy of Civics 101 in a group chat to work it out? Honestly, the tension in DC right now feels less like democracy and more like an overdramatic family dinner where everyone's pretending to be calm while throwing mashed potatoes under the table. Bottom line, if we've reached a point where tread carefully is heard as a threat instead of advice, and where both sides think the law only applies to the other side, yeah, we might need less drama and more clarity. Let's bring back facts, calm discussions, and maybe, just maybe, less birthday takedown speeches and more actual problem solving. Wild idea, right? What do you think? Is this about truth versus power? Or are we just stuck in a never-ending season of political Survivor DC edition? That's the plot twist. It's not about Elon tweeting memes and firing off spicy replies. This is about whether the government violated the First Amendment by nudging platforms to silence stories it didn't like. Let me break it down in simple terms. You can't have the government calling up your local newspaper saying, hey, don't run that front page story. That's not democracy. That's George Orwell with a government badge. And Pam Bondi, she's basically saying, look, we've got emails, we've got timelines, we've got testimony under oath. Try us. Goldman's response? Musk is a right-wing extremist. Okay, Dan, great comeback. 10 points to Gryffindor. Let's zoom out for a second. What's really going on here? Elon Musk bought Twitter, renamed it X, and opened the vaults. He's exposing emails showing the FBI, DHS, and even the White House asked platforms to silence or suppress certain stories or users. That's not speculation. It's documented, and now Congress is involved. Bondi and her legal team are putting together a case that could become a major turning point in how big tech and big government work together, or don't. And the stakes? Oh, just free speech in America. Nothing major, right? But you wouldn't know that from some of the media coverage, which keeps spinning Musk as a chaotic billionaire troll. Sure, he is chaotic, but that doesn't mean he's wrong. Let me leave you with this. Whether you love Elon Musk, can't stand him, or still think he's just that weird guy from PayPal, this story isn't really about him anymore. It's about what we're allowed to say, who gets to control the flow of information, and whether elected officials can pressure private companies into censorship, and then call it democracy. Pam Bondi isn't just warning one congressman, she's warning the entire political establishment. If you're coming, for Elon, you better bring more than talking points, because this time, he brought the receipts. That's it for today, folks. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to Trending Buzz for more daily drama, political plot twists, and stories the mainstream wishes you'd ignore. This is Trending Buzz, where we don't just follow the headlines, we follow the truth behind them. See you in the next